The ocean covers 70% of Earth, but we've explored less than 5% of it. Every dive into the deep reveals something that shouldn't exist. Here are 7 deep-sea mysteries that sound like science fiction but are completely real. Number 5 will make you question what's hiding in the dark. The Bermuda Triangle has a reputation for swallowing ships and planes. But the real mystery is what's underneath it. The Puerto Rico Trench, which runs through the triangle, drops to 28,373 feet deep. That's deeper than Mount Everest is tall. At those depths, the pressure is 1,000 times greater than at the surface. The trench contains thermal vents spewing water hot enough to melt lead, surrounded by creatures that have never seen sunlight. We've mapped the surface of Mars in more detail than the floor of the Bermuda Triangle. Ships don't disappear because of a curse. They disappear because the ocean is vast, deep, and almost entirely unexplored. In the Gulf of Mexico, 3,300 feet below the surface, there is a lake. Not a metaphorical lake. An actual lake, with its own shoreline, its own waves, and its own fish that swim in it like it's a separate body of water. It's called a brine pool. The water inside is 4 to 5 times saltier than the surrounding ocean, so dense that it sinks and forms a distinct pool on the seafloor. Anything that swims into the brine pool and can't escape gets pickled. Crabs and fish that wander in die and are preserved perfectly in the toxic brine. It looks like a lake on land, complete with a muddy shore, but it's underwater. The ocean has lakes inside it, and we barely understand how they work. You think weather only happens in the sky. But the deep ocean has weather too. Underwater rivers, called submarine currents, flow for thousands of miles along the seafloor. They have banks, they flood, and they overflow just like rivers on land. There are underwater waterfalls that dwarf anything on the surface. The Denmark Strait Cataract, between Iceland and Greenland, is an underwater waterfall that drops 11,500 feet. That's 3 times the height of Angel Falls, the tallest waterfall on land. You can't see it because it's underwater, but it's the largest waterfall on Earth by volume. The deep ocean also has storms, called benthic storms, where currents suddenly accelerate and kick up clouds of sediment that can last for days. The ocean has its own weather system, and we live on top of it without ever seeing it. Sunlight only penetrates the ocean to about 656 feet deep. Below that, it's the twilight zone, where only blue light filters through. Below 3,300 feet, it's the midnight zone. Total darkness. No sunlight at all. Ever. This midnight zone makes up 90% of the ocean by volume. That means most of the water on Earth has never seen light. The creatures that live there don't need eyes. Many have evolved to produce their own light through bioluminescence. The anglerfish, the vampire squid, the dragonfish, they glow in the dark because they have to. They've created their own light in a world that has none. 90% of Earth's water is in permanent darkness, and we know almost nothing about what's living there. The megalodon was the largest shark that ever lived. It grew to 60 feet long and had teeth the size of your hand. It went extinct 2.6 million years ago. Probably. But here's the thing. In 1918, Australian fishermen reported a massive shark, pale and enormous, that stole their catch. In 2018, a camera tagged a great white shark that was being tracked. The tag washed up on a beach. The data showed the tag suddenly dove to 1,900 feet and the temperature dropped to match deep water. Something ate a great white shark and dragged it to the bottom. Great whites are apex predators. Nothing is supposed to eat them. Some scientists believe the megalodon survived in the deep ocean, where we can't see. It sounds insane. But we didn't discover the coelacanth until 1938, a fish we thought had been extinct for 65 million years. The ocean is big enough to hide almost anything. There is gold in the ocean. Not a little. An estimated 20 million tons of gold dissolved in seawater worldwide. That's about 1 gram of gold per 100 million tons of water. At current prices, that's worth roughly $700 quadrillion. Enough to make every person on Earth a billionaire. The problem is extracting it. The gold is so diluted that you'd need to process impossible amounts of water to get a meaningful amount. Many have tried. No one has succeeded. But the gold is there. The ocean is sitting on the largest treasure hoard in history, and no one can reach it. It's the ultimate irony. We're surrounded by wealth beyond imagination, dissolved in the water we swim in, and we can't touch it. Which of these deep-sea mysteries blew your mind the most? The lake inside the ocean, the underwater waterfall, or the possibility that the megalodon is still down there? Drop a comment below. And if you learned something new, hit subscribe for more facts that sound fake but are 100%